What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. This is Mommy So True. If you're new here, welcome. Take a moment to listen to my video today. If you're dealing with a narcissist, if you're living with a narcissist, if you've dealt with them in the past, if you're just curious to know what this word that's going around so much, what it is, what it means, what these people are about, you want to subscribe to my channel. I am Mommy So True. I've been dealing with narcissistic abuse since I was born, and so many people can relate to it. I used to think it was just me. I used to think I was alone. You're not alone. There's a big community of people who are going through the same thing you're going through. I used to think I was the only one dealing with this. I used to think that I was the only one walking around feeling empty. I am going to hit on the topic of isolation. Being isolated, dealing with isolation, there's different levels of it. It comes in different ways. There's so many different examples of it. This is my experience, what I went through, and how I dealt with isolation, what it did to me mentally, what it did to my relationships with friends. Let's get right into this video, y'all, because isolation is deep and it's one of the most damaging aspects of dealing with these people. When you're going through isolation, dealing with narcissistic abuse, you got to understand a few things. Isolation is done intentionally. Isolation is done purposely. It's systematic. It's like they gradually isolate you. The tactics of isolation is so freaking manipulative. Oh my God. And as an empath, you overlook so much with these people. You just oh my God. Oh, I'm just thinking back to how much I was manipulated and how much I allowed myself to be isolated. I'm just like, oh, okay, let me just get into it. First of all, the narcissist wants you to believe every freaking piece of shit they feed you. They want you to believe everything they tell you because it's easier to brainwash you and make you isolate yourself. Because let's face it, in the beginning, they love bombed you, right? They said all the right things. Oh, I want you next to me all the time. I want to spend every moment with you for the rest of my life. They made all these promises of happy moments for both of you to have together. All these big plans, all this romance they threw at you. For me, I was obsessively texted by this man. I had to be texting him all day, or we had to be on the phone all day, or if not that, then I needed to be where he was. In the beginning, it's like he made it seem like he just always wanted to be around me and wanted my attention and wanted my companionship, and I fell into that. I thought, oh my gosh, I love it. This is nice. I want someone who always wants me around, who always wants to talk to me, someone who's always there. But after all that love bombing, as time goes on, now you start hearing shit like, you don't need to go to school. I'm going to take care of you. You ain't got to work. Quit that job. You don't need that job. I got you. I'm going to make sure you good. I'm going to make sure the bills are paid. I'm going to make sure you happy. You can travel. You're going to live a great life. And some empaths fall for that. They end up dropping out of school. They leave and quit their jobs and come and be dependent on this narc. And then when they leave you, discard you and walk away, now you're left with nothing. Now you're left with trying to figure your life back out. Majority of the isolation tactics are going to come against your friends and family when you're dealing with a narc partner. After love bombing, after love bombing, when you've already fallen in love, now they're telling you how much your parents don't like them, so you can stay away from your parents. They telling you how much your friends are not good for you, how much they don't trust this friend and that friend, because the parents and the friends are telling you to run from the narc. And the narc knows that. The narc knows that they see right through them, and they're going to warn you, and they don't want that. So they got to do whatever they can to try to destroy that relationship with you and these people that you've known all your life, that you are close with, these people that you should be able to call on in times of need in your life. It goes from, in the beginning, they know how sociable you are. They know you love your friends and your family, to now Why you always inviting people over? Why it can't just be me and you? You don't spend enough time with me. Why we don't go here? Why we don't go there? Why you always got to go out with your friend when you probably barely do? Why you always on the phone with such and such? You don't talk to me as much as you talk to such and such. So now here you are, this empath in the beginning, all in love. You think you got somebody who understands that you love that closeness, that you want that closeness, but then it quickly turns into this possessive, crazy shit with this narcissist. Hi, mama. You wake up one day and you start to realize how freaking isolated you are. You ain't really got no friends. Your family don't really talk to you no more because they know that you rather pick this man or this woman over them. It's just you. It's just you. And this person who's not even really there. How I see isolation is in the relationship as the empath, you gave your all. You were so genuine. You truly actually love this person and you actually genuinely gave yourself, your money, your time, your energy. And then when you realize it wasn't reciprocated, you automatically isolate as an empath. When you actually realize that someone you love is not giving you that back, you may not leave right away, but it hurts and it makes you get withdrawn. For me, I became sexually withdrawn. I started being less comfortable conversating with my husband when I realized that I wasn't getting the same love back. I isolated myself from him first, mentally. Everything with him wasn't the same anymore. I wasn't as willing to be open about how I was feeling with him anymore because the trust was going down, because I was noticing that I was not receiving the same love and treatment and kindness back. They like to isolate you because it's easier to control you. They now have more access to you if you're isolated. They're abusing you behind closed doors so nobody can ever understand what you're talking about or what you're going through. Everybody looking at you crazy. Once you start telling your truth about your narcissist partner, they're like, or you start telling the truth about your narcissist parent, they're like, where's all this coming from? You ain't never said nothing before. And if you one of those empaths that make the relationship look good, or you've been trying to cover for this person all this time through the relationship, and then now all of a sudden you want to start telling everybody how much they are hurting you, it becomes hard and almost impossible. That's how they do it. That's how they do us. They set it up to make it seem like we are liars. Make it seem like we're making shit up. Make it seem like we're crazy. They strategically isolate you so in times where you need someone the most, you're not going to pick up the phone and call anybody. You're not even going to have anyone to think of to call because you're going to feel so ashamed for even taking them back, dealing with them, being with them for as long as you've been, already telling people about them and taking them back. It comes with so much guilt. The fear of people pressuring you to leave the relationship, that makes you isolated. Throughout the relationship, so much messed up things happen that you might end up telling your friends. You might end up telling your sisters, your brothers. You might end up telling someone close to you. And then you take them back. Now you're going to suffer. Now you got to pay. You got to pay for going and telling on the narcissist. Now this is all your fault. You didn't have to go tell nobody. Why did you go tell them? And then on top of that, the narcissist is even denying everything that you went and reported. They're not admitting it. Not only are they making you feel bad for telling them and taking them back, but they're also shitting on you for telling the truth. It makes you shut down. It fucks with you mentally to the point where you just completely shut the world out. Some of y'all are dealing with narcissists who isolate you by moving your ass all the way across town. They don't want you to see your family. They don't want you to be around nobody. They making sure you will never be able to drive up the street to see auntie. Since day one, your life with the narcissist was full of secrets. These people got little circles of friends that you never knew about and that you would never know about. Why? because they need constant supply from people. One person is not enough, two, three, four is not enough. They need a new face, a new D every day. They always have many sources of supply. That's why they be ghosting you. They ghost us because they need to attend to these other supplies. They need to take care of these other people who they need attention from. It ain't got nothing to do with you. But it definitely causes you to fall into isolation, because here you are with someone who you're looking for their attention, but they're looking for attention from everybody else in the world. The math ain't mathing with these people. Narcissists like to ghost you to play with your mind. They know you're going to be somewhere obsessively thinking about them, wondering where they at, what they doing, why they not answering, why you not texting me, where you at. They know it's driving you crazy that they're ghosting you. Constantly checking your phone, trying to figure out why they're not talking to you. Isolating you. Narcs that isolate people from their children. Going through custody battles, telling children all this messed up stuff about the other parent. Making the children feel like they got to pick a side. Isolating the parent from the children from the parent. When you got a narcissist parent that's doing that with children to you, they're fucking with your mental. You cannot play with someone's children. And these people are sick. They'll take things to that extent. And when you have children who are dealing with a narcissistic parent, sometimes the children believe that narc. And then if you're the empath mom or dad, you're getting mistreated by these children based off of what their narcissistic mom or dad is telling them about you. These children grow bitterness about you for no reason, causing you to push into more isolation. Now you just feeling all sorts of fucked up walking around this earth. Can't see your kids, can't talk to your kids. They don't have respect for you based off of someone else's lies. These narcs are always on their phone, y'all. Always on that freaking phone. As much as my ex always tried to intimidate me and accuse me of talking on the phone with someone or doing something that he was always doing, his phone was glued to his hand. And I'm now learning why. It's because he was always entertaining other supplies. It makes complete sense. We be watching movies after he tell me I don't spend time with him. He's on his phone while I'm watching the movie. The movie's watching me and I'm watching the movie and he's watching his phone. Completely isolating me in moments where I thought we were having quality time after arguing about quality time. It's all mind games with these people. And as an empath, when he did things like that, while I'm sitting in the bed watching a movie and he was on his phone, to avoid conflict, I wouldn't say nothing. I would just lay there and just watch it. And then on the other hand, I would never touch my phone. He made me feel so intimidated and so uncomfortable about my phone that I would just leave my phone in the room on the nightstand all day sometimes. All day sometimes. I had no interest in texting people, talking to people. I literally shut away from existing in life because of this man. I completely isolated myself from having any type of life on social media. I stopped my podcast that I started in 2017. I started my survival journey in 2017. I had a podcast. I was on social media. I was creating videos. Get into this relationship, and now I abandoned everything. I abandoned my friends, the ones who I know truly care about me. Sometimes they would tell me things about the narc, and I would get mad and not talk to them for weeks, defending him or wondering why they don't understand what I'm going through. How you just gonna tell me to leave? When you and the narc break up, you need to call him, right? You need somebody to call. Who you calling? You got to call that best friend you ain't called in a while because you've been stuck in this toxic ass relationship. And then if you end up taking the person back, now you about to ghost your friend again because you feel shameful and stupid for taking this person back. It's so sickening of a cycle, and the isolation just Isolation with these people freaking sucks. It makes you a zombie to the world, to your friends. It makes you unrecognizable in the freaking mirror. Living with a narc mom, I was an isolated teenager. Not only was she super mean and strict and didn't allow me to do anything and have a life, but just based on the type of criticism and insults I was getting at home, I isolated myself from even wanting to have friends. I didn't even want to interact with other girls because I didn't feel like I had anything in common. I didn't feel like I could relate or that they could relate to me. I isolated myself on so many levels as a kid, as a teen, as a young adult. So isolated I couldn't talk to family. I couldn't share things that were bothering me. You know, isolation at the end of the day, it's all completely bad for your mental health. That's the moral of today's video. Isolation is real. Isolation is hard to avoid when you're dealing with these people. And it's completely intentionally done by them so they can abuse you and you have no one to run to. Sometimes you can be so isolated dealing with these people that you can call the police and they won't even take you serious because you've been allowing the abuse for so long. You finally call them, they're like, why you ain't never say nothing before? Why isn't there a history of 911 phone calls? Because you've been isolated. You've been scared. It's intentionally done. I just thank God for therapy and I just thank God for God because a lot of this that you're going through with the narc, you won't be able to survive it without those two things, at least as a start. But I just wanted to come and share that with you today because isolation is so real. I know I'm not the only one who has experienced it. I'm just starting to come back out of that. And this time, never going to allow someone to put me in that space mentally again because it hurts and it's hard to get out of. And it's hard to rebuild these relationships once you allow a narcissist to tear them apart. Thank you for tuning in to my video, you guys. It's been real. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on today's video. Until next time,